Alibaba is hedging its delisting risk while Ant Group is distancing itself from Alibaba. That's what we're going to cover in this video. So guys, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and of course, drop a meow in the chat. You're watching More Money. Let's get it. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel where the goal here is to help at least 1,000 people achieve financial independence much sooner. And let's dive right into this one. So you can see here, Alibaba is actually pursuing a primary listing in Hong Kong. And this move comes as Beijing and Washington remain at sort of different sides over the audit of US listed companies. And what do I mean by that? Well, the whole issue is that US regulators want Chinese listed companies to give the PCAOB, a US audit review entity, full access to audit records for Chinese listed names. And that's not an unreasonable request, because at the end of the day, it goes to protect US shareholders. And it's not like Chinese companies have not had fraud issues in the past. So look, at the end of the day, the PCAOB came into force because there were audit issues related to US listed companies. So now all US listed companies follow that rule. So why is it that Chinese listed companies would be exempt from that rule? It doesn't make sense. But on the US's side, if Chinese listed companies are making strides to adhere to those rules while adhering to their own government issues with respect to providing data, then the US government shouldn't hold them to a deadline. That's kind of the way I feel on this. We both should be working together, because at the end of the day, we're trying to help people live better lives. The US is trying to help Americans live better lives by providing them with stricter audit standards over the companies that they purchase on US exchanges. And the Chinese government is trying to help develop the Chinese economy, which will help Chinese citizens live better lives. Well, you do that by having stronger Chinese companies, and you get stronger Chinese companies by potentially allowing them to list on the best exchanges in the world. So at the end of the day, we should be working together here. We have shared goals. And so what's happening here is that Alibaba is expected to pursue a primary listing of its stock in Hong Kong. And so what this will do is it will pave the way for Alibaba's inclusion in the Hong Kong Stock Connect trading link. Now, I don't necessarily think that this is a hedge against being delisted on US exchanges. Actually, come to think of it, it seems like it's just a way for Alibaba to get more liquidity for its securities in the Hong Kong exchange. And you can see that that's probably the case, because it's not like Alibaba's delisting itself from the NYSE. It's expecting to continue trading on the US exchange as well. And note that in the 6 months ended June 30th, Alibaba's average trading volume in Hong Kong was approximately 700 million compared to $3.2 billion in the US. So you can see why you would want to list your company's shares on the US exchange. There's just much more liquidity, and so you'll probably get a higher valuation. Maybe not in today's environment, but in regular environments, you probably could get a higher valuation as a Chinese listed name on a US exchange. And the inclusion in the stock trading link with mainland China could bring at least $21 billion in new investor inflows into Alibaba shares, according to an analyst. Now, that just means that there could potentially be a strong catalyst to bring the shares up a little bit. We'll see how that plays out. I don't know. Now, the other thing that's going on with the company is that Ant is actually separating itself further from Alibaba, which actually suggests to me that the company could be pursuing an IPO sooner than we think. So you can see here, top Ant executives have stepped down from the Alibaba partnership. And I think this just is in line with the continued separation of the two businesses. And you guys may recall that I did make a previous video suggesting that Ant Group and Alibaba could potentially start competing against one another. And I'll link to that at the end of this video. So you can see 7 Ant Group executives have stepped down as partners of Alibaba. And the departure of Ant top executives came after Alibaba amended its partnership agreement to stipulate that only current Alibaba employees can become partners. And so my suspicion is that this is being done because they could push that Ant Group IPO sooner than we expect. And I'm not the only one that believes that. Bernstein actually upgraded Alibaba, citing the likeliness of Ant Group's IPO soon. And so the separation of management and business operations from Alibaba is fueling rumors from the media and analysts that Ant Group IPO could be revived soon. But like I have to say, and I always say in every video, that we are all speculating. Nothing has been said by Ant Group. Nothing has been said by the Chinese regulators. So we are speculating that this IPO could be announced soon, and Who knows? But what I can tell you is that it will very much be a catalyst to the shares. And this is what I mean. Note that Ant Group's IPO is complete upside, as the current valuation of $300 per share, in my model at least, does not reflect any material value from Ant Group. So in other words, it's pure upside. Now, how do you get access to that model? Well, you can get access to that at the lower tier of the Patreon level. And if you want to join us for a live epic call every month, you can join us at the upper tier of the Patreon level. Now, if you missed out that video where I discussed Ant Group and Alibaba separating their business activities, no problem. You can actually get access to that video right here.